Leaders are not immune from burnout either, but ever wonder how to create and support a team without burning them or yourselves out? There's reasons that good leaders burn out too. Good leaders are subject to the same stress as those they lead. I was there. We try to balance supporting employees' needs with the goals of the organization. But how can you really juggle both? It's not always easy. Often, we might feel like we're stuck in the middle. Sometimes jumping in and working side by side with employees in addition to focusing on your own tasks. I did that all the time, working middle of the night crisis calls. First, you might have to respond to that crisis, right? Who is the first one that's a go-to? Depends on how your organization's structured. It can be the employee, but the manager is always the one on call, right? Which means there's times you have to step up and help too. So, how do you help your team without taking on that additional stress and supporting them so they don't become burned out too? First, it's important as a leader to make sure you're setting an example. Those we lead always follow suit. What I mean by that is if you are always at work or you leave early, let's say you leave early 2, 3 days in a row, what are employees going to do? Think it's okay to just leave early? I've seen this when it comes to dress code. I've had employees follow suit. And so it's important to be sure to do what I'm asking them to do. This happens with time off. We want to make sure that we're creating that culture where individuals feel respected, listened to, and they're part of a collaborative team. They're not just workhorses. They are individuals with their own minds and thoughts, and they were hired for a reason. So let's help build that culture so people feel respected. And it's a team effort. When we share the load, we're less likely to get burnt out. So we use that problem solving, that collaborative problem solving mode, right? Where it's the team that solves the problem, not just myself as the leader. But let's go a step further. And how do we really create that culture that prevents burnout? First and foremost, it's treating each individual as a person who has their own thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. I always had an open door policy as a leader, and there's a lot of controversy on that. Some people think an open door policy means I, as a leader, don't get my own work done. I actually found the opposite to be true. Yes, there were times I would close my door to get something done that was urgent. But most of the time, having that open door and taking those 30 seconds or 2 minutes to support an employee who walks in the door goes a long way in building that culture, right? Because then employees know that they are wanted, they are seen, and they feel supported. And in the end, that's what they want to know. They want to know they're seen and they want to know they're supported. And it helps to start to build that support and collaborative environment that helps the organization thrive, right? Collaboration means if I'm stuck on one part, but I have two employees who might have better knowledge in that, and I bring them in, just think how much further you're going to take things, right? How much quicker that project's going to get done because we thrive when we have support. We don't thrive when we're on our own. That culture needs to be one that includes praise and gratitude, right? Yes, rewards need to happen. People need to see and hear that they are doing the work that they're supposed to do and that they're doing a good job at it, right? Yes, as leaders, we need to correct. We need to offer adjustments, but we can't miss out on offering that praise and that gratitude for what they do, especially gratitude when people do go above and beyond and it really wasn't part of their job scope, but they want to help. And you'd be amazed at how many people on your team probably want to do that. We want to foster a healthy form of communication, right? So this might include being more empathetic. Now, empathy does not mean taking on their emotions, and we'll talk about that in another video. But it means that I'm going to listen And I'm going to try to understand what they're thinking and feeling and where they're coming from. It just means I see them as a person, and I know life can be hard and work can be hard. But to be empathetic and have that open communication, I'm going to use reflective listening skills, right? So if I have a team and we're brainstorming all ideas on a topic or a project, all ideas are welcome. We don't shoot those down in the moment. We listen and we take it in. And then we respond respectfully, right? We talk about the pros and cons. But we can't have healthy communication if all we're doing is putting down somebody's ideas in the moment. If we're not actually listening to what they're saying and thinking about it from their perspective. So the power of leading by example is being respectful so that they will reciprocate that, right? It's giving what you expect. So let's talk about time off and how that plays into building a thriving culture that's not burnt out for yourself and your team. Organizations provide paid time off as a benefit. There is a reason that's built in to organizations. People need that time off to recover, and you as a leader need it. I was terrible at taking it. I was not good at leading by example there. I always pushed, do what I say, not what I do. But in reflecting back, that's backwards. I needed to encourage myself to take that time off because that time off allows you to step away and fully recover, turn off the mental load, turn off the physical grind, and do what you need to replenish yourself. And I know as a leader that's hard because when we come back to work, there's always 10 times the work to do, right? Everything that showed up while we were gone, everything we didn't get accomplished while we were gone, and it just builds. But I promise you, you will be able to tackle that if you are building a collaborative, communicative team and encouraging yourself and others to take that time off, right? We need to. Because think about what it says if you're a leader and you're not taking care of yourself. It's saying that your health isn't a priority, and that's what you're unintentionally telling your staff. So I want to encourage you to take that time off, to be that example, to look at your team as a team, not just individual workhorses, but as a true team. And so as we wrap up for today, let's talk about how to ultimately avoid burnout as a leader, right? We do want to be action takers and we want to do things that encourage others. So the more positive we focus on and we point out, the more positive the culture will be, right? So being that positive pusher, as you might call it, where we're offering gratitude and we're praising things that get done. So not only are we action takers, but we're in a state of gratitude. When we're in a state of gratitude, we're going to accomplish more things too. We also need to remember, rely on the team to do the work they were hired for. You don't have to do it alone, and you don't just have to delegate. It is a team. I always believed in working right alongside my team and just being the one who brought the information and the direction. But it was a team. Make sure that you are creating balance in your own life and that it's not all about work. There is so much more to life than work, and you need to find that balance and the balance that works for you in this season you're in life. You can always check out videos I have on balance because it is different and it changes. But in the end, let's work on being the leaders who show people that it's okay and it's normal to take care of themselves, to communicate, to want to be part of a team, that ideas are welcome, and be grateful for that. I hope you found this video helpful. Leave a comment below if it was. What's your one takeaway, or what's the one thing you really like to strive for as a leader? And have a blessed day.